How's it going, everybody? And welcome back to another edition of the Stupid Questions podcast. Today on the pod, we're going to be talking with Marc Dubrick. This is his round 3 interview. First time he came on was in November of 2023. So it's been literally almost 2 years since that initial conversation aired. It's a good time. We get to catch up with Marc, the injury that he's been battling. We talk some relationship stuff, health, T100 versus Ironman, all the things. So I hope you enjoy this episode. And without further ado, I want to introduce you to Marc Dubrick. But before I do that, wanted to say one more thing. I've been trying to throw this in the beginning of the podcast. Make sure to check out the show notes. Sign up for the newsletter if you want to do that. And also, most of you haven't subscribed if you are listening. I've seen that the grand majority of people who listen to this podcast, whether that's on YouTube or on any of the podcast platforms, they're not subscribed. So please do that. That helps to continue to grow the show and get it out to more people. If you also want to support the podcast, you could do so by checking out the link in the description for the SQ socks and some other stuff that we're going to be releasing here before too terribly long. So thank you so much again. And without further ado, this is Marc Dubrick. It looks level to me.
All right.
Level enough.
Level enough. Yeah, we got a wall and we got like this. Yeah, so it looks kind of funny.
Yeah, dude, it has been a minute. I'm trying to think of the last time we truly talked. I know we text every once in a while and keep in touch.
Yeah, we haven't even done an Instagram live in a while.
I know, dude. It's been crazy. I know that you've been going through a lot of changes too, but it's all good.
Yeah, I feel like it's a good representation of how busy our lives are. Well, that's not true, because sometimes we obviously squeeze it in, but like hectic, maybe a level of how hectic our lives are.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, we can definitely get into that and share each one. But how's your life been? I know you've been going through a lot, struggling with injury still, like trying to get into, you're back in Boulder now, like figuring out living arrangements, long-term stuff. Like what's been going on?
Yeah, I mean, you did kind of cover a lot of what's happening, but that's also like the story of my life for the past 6 years. Not so much the injuries, but always like looking for where's the next place to live for camp. But obviously, like I choose that life and I really enjoy it because it lets me train in some really cool places with better weather, with really cool people. So obviously I enjoy that. And yeah, I mean, yes, I'm injured. I have a partially healed femoral. Sorry, let me start over. I'm 5 weeks in to the recovery, so that's why it's partially healed. But it was a stage 1 stress reaction in my femoral neck, on the inside, I guess, if that makes sense. On the good side, if you were to get a reaction on the outside of your femur, it's like almost instantly surgery. This one, thankfully, was not that. Still taking a very conservative approach. I'm seeing one of the best doctors in the area. He has seen too many athletes, but of course, he has experience. So we're taking a good conservative approach, because although there is a big amount of the season left, I obviously don't want this to linger on at all.
Yeah, no kidding, man. How did you get hooked up with that doc? Did you know through a friend or?
Yeah, thankfully I have a bit more connection. Like I have more connections here in Boulder than in Tucson, because I was injured earlier in the year too. I had those 2 partially torn tendons that flared up. They could have been partially torn anyways, but they just got really pissed off over whatever the training I was doing or the running or the bike, whatever. I do think it's somewhat related, the injuries, but one of my good friends, Evan Colbert, he's a PT here. So right when I started feeling it, I was messaging him and he got me in for a little evaluation. He had some red flags that he was worried about. So then he referred me to this Health Images. It's just a chain of imaging locations, and they got me in like the next day. So not even joking, from when Evan sent in the referral to when I had the results, it was 2.5 days.
Wow.
And earlier in the year, I went through insurance because I didn't know how to do it any different down in Tucson. I didn't have the kind of the connections. They didn't have these health image locations. So from when I stopped running, and was like, okay, something's wrong, this is the first injury, or like in March, to when I finally got the results was 3 weeks.
Oh yeah, and
I know. So time was everything, especially for this one. So I'm very grateful for that, because it was a grade 1, which is on the low, like It's one
Just
grades
starting.
1, 2, and 3 of the reactions, and then it goes to just a fracture. If it was a grade 2, pretty much every grade you go more severe is it adds like an extra 4 to 6 weeks of no running.
Mm,
So without the answers, like, I mean, I probably wasn't gonna race Placid because this happened probably the worst timing in a way. Happened a week and a half was my last run before Placid. Thankfully, I had the answers though, um, or else, if I would have raced, it could have been so much worse.
yeah, no kidding. Well, I mean, and yeah, you had to take a break off of Placid. Like, I'm sure that was pretty tough because that was going to be your first debut, big day out
Yeah, oh, I
in
was so
Arizona.
excited.
Yeah.
It's definitely that's the hardest part is seeing these races go like that I should have been in or could have been in.
Hmm.
Placid, for example, was something that I was really looking forward to, but also was super nervous. And that was because of the injuries. So obviously like the worst thing, like the yeah, my fears came true.
Yeah.
Um so yeah, I postponed the Ironman debut. And then I think the hardest one was T100 London and all these T100 races happening. Just because I was in such a good spot to get the wild cards with
Yeah.
how they're doing wild cards and where my ranking is. I yeah, that's like I don't usually regret things, and of course, I'm in a good headspace now about recovery and controlling what I can control, and yeah, just getting better on the things that I can do right now, which is a lot more than what I can't get better at. Right,
Yeah.
the only things I really can't do is just running and
Yeah.
racing, but I can get better at everything else. Um, so seeing those like T100 London, yeah, definitely a bummer because I was in such a good spot there. So maybe yeah, I was like playing with fire doing the full. I probably should have thought about it a bit more and just committed to just doing the T100 races.
Yeah. Do you feel like whenever you're starting to feel a niggle is because like I've never had a stress reaction, so I'm not sure what it feels like. I've had like little issues where I'm like, oh, my hip kind of hurts, and then if I don't lay off of it, like it can feel a little bit, more
Mhm.
tight or a sharper pain or whatever. But for you, for that reaction, was it like, oh, I definitely know what this is. This is like a big pain coming, and you're just ignoring it, or how does it feel?
At first, it was just honestly felt like tight hip flexors. Like if you were to do planks, or I'm not sure if you do kicking in the pool ever.
Not as much as I should.
So if you go kick in the pool or do planks or core, like crunches, like it just felt like tight hip flexors, and it was on both sides. And
Mm,
of course, this I was talking to the doctor about. He's like, "Yeah, that's actually what can set it off is just something as simple as that you just kept working out on. You maybe change your mechanics or whatever because there was no glaring issue that happened. Like I was sleeping well.
hmm.
I thought my nutrition was good as usual. I didn't lose any weight. I of course was running a lot more. So it started off just feeling more like tightness. And then I obviously kept an eye on it. I was like, okay, that's weird. I was getting these weekly massages that seemed to help. It didn't hurt on the bike, didn't hurt on the swim at first. It was just kind of here and there on the run. And then that progressed to, okay, I'm kind of feeling it swimming, which is weird. I was
Hmm.
like, oh, why am I feeling this swimming? Still doesn't mean it's bone. Like, actually, I almost thought it was muscular still because it's why am I feeling it on
Yeah.
a sport that's essentially like no impact besides the flip turns. And then like a week and a half, I'd say, before, 2 weeks before. So my last long run, I've definitely felt it, but again, it just still felt like hip flexor tightness.
Yeah.
So I did that long run fine, and then 2 days later was, or 3 days later was a workout, and it was still at the point where if I was running hard, I was running like race pace. The pain from running at like race pace easily masked like the pain of the injury, if that makes sense.
Like it whenever you start to go hard, like you don't feel it as much. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
you're just able to focus on something
Yeah.
else. So it's still a very low level pain.
Hmm.
Of course, like we're just doing the same repetitive motions. So you are like, and then I start thinking about it more. But that's when I was able to jump in and see Evan and he was able to check things out. Cause at that point, after that last workout, that's when I kind of felt it all the time.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, even if it's muscular, like at this point, I'm feeling it all the time. I need to figure this out before it progresses to something more. And obviously, it was already pretty bad. So got it checked out, and then was on. I went on crutches for a week, but yeah, it really never got to that much pain. It was like
Yeah.
this dull. It's hard to I always have a hard time putting words to like that type
The
of pain.
feeling. Yeah.
I would say pretty dull. Like I'd feel it here and there. Um, I think one time, like when I was carrying my bike up our stairs because we live on the second floor of an apartment, so like putting weight on the opposite side of my body as I lifted it
Something.
because it's on my left leg was when that would set it off. I was like, okay, that's really weird. It definitely hurts more
Mm,
doing that.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, we're 5 weeks post 5 weeks no running. I think I have 2 more weeks, 2.5 more weeks, and I've been back to full on swimming. Actually, my swimming's taken another jump, so I'm super excited about that.
Nice.
And then biking, I took a bit off because I wasn't quite sure if it was 100%. Because with bone injuries, you have to have 0 out of 10 pain. It's not like Achilles issues or maybe
Yeah.
some sort of muscle strain or tendon where you're still healing it while maybe there's some pain. But with the bone, it like needs to be 0 out of 10. So on the bike, I made sure to I just kind of backed off. I wanted to jumpstart that
Hmm.
recovery process.
Yeah, I have heard that the bone injuries, that's why they totally immobilize things, is because the early stages of bone growth and healing is like
Mhm.
super fragile. Like I think of like the marrow just barely connecting, and then after a few days, and it starts to, really lock in, or weeks
That's what I
rather.
was hoping for at least. And again, I made the most out of it. This is my biggest injury I've had in a long time, but it's not the first injury I've had. And so I feel like my headspace is in. I think you messaged me right away, like, hope you're doing well. Like, so I obviously appreciate that. So obviously I was bummed right away. And I think everyone in my position would be.
Sure.
But I've been through enough of those injuries, enough like negative races, whatever, bad races that I've learned what's a productive way of handling things and what's a unproductive way. So I switched pretty quickly to all right, well, to obviously a pretty crappy situation,
Hmm.
but being salty or sulking and being negative about it doesn't it actually would just end up making it worse.
Yeah.
So switch your focus to what you can do. And I went home right away to see my family. We redid or like redid, I guess. We used to do this family trip across from Chicago. We'd sail my parents' boat across the lake to this town called New Buffalo. So it's 8 hour sail
Wow.
across the lake. You saying it's across is kind of a stretch. Like you kind of see shore the whole time, but it still
Yeah.
takes 8 hours and you're in the
Yeah.
middle of the lake for the most part. Anyways, but it's super fun. So I did the trip for the first time in I think 6 years. I
Wow.
missed out on the last one we did, but we used to do this every summer growing up for whatever 10 years.
Mm. Give you a good throwback to
Yep,
some of the
little
older
throwback
days.
trip. The town that it's like changed a lot, but also so like
Similar.
still the same.
Yeah.
Everything just feels so much smaller. There was these like what I thought were big sand dunes at the beach that's there, and they're so small.
Yeah, 6 years ago, man, that's crazy.
Well, no, like I guess like 6 years ago, obviously it felt the same too, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
this was like it was just awesome to do. And I have a niece and a nephew that you know about, but doing the trip with them for the first time was also really cool.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And they're like really young still, what, one,
Yeah,
two?
two and like and 7 months.
Mm,
So
not
or
even a
I guess
year.
you're supposed to say that in weeks, right?
Yeah, yeah, everybody. Like
No, months.
months. Yeah,
Yeah.
weeks then till who knows, maybe two,
I
three
don't know the
months, and then
rules.
months.
What are
Yeah,
these unwritten rules about? Yeah,
and
babies. I think it's
babies.
like 1.5, right? So 18 months is when you switch to years.
I guess, yeah, probably about that. My sister's oldest is, yeah, he just turned over 2 in this years, but she still got almost a 1 year old. No, 7 month
Right.
old, 8 month old.
Same with them.
Yeah, I think it's actually very similar to yours, because she just had her second like 7 months ago. Crazy.
There we go.
Yeah,
They're the same age then.
yeah.
So it was pretty special having that because it was the full family.
Hmm.
And then I was able to catch up with some cousins and a few aunt and uncles while I was home. So yeah, honestly, like great to get that started. I felt so helpless though. because like we have to kill these kids, and the babies have so much stuff, like way
Mm.
more than
Yeah.
grown humans have.
Yeah.
So I was like, I couldn't really help with carrying anything. Like I was on crutches and I just needed to be no weight bearing at all. So it's kind of, I just felt like I just kept
Yeah.
apologizing because I felt so worthless.
Yeah.
Um, but instead of crutching everywhere, I ended up just like, I could bike fine. My parents have an e-bike. So even if it was like half a mile away or a quarter mile away, like to
You're
dinner or
biking it.
to the pool, I would just bike and lock it next to where we were going.
That's nice.
So it's fun.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, it's so good to have that family time, and yeah, I'd say
Hmm.
that's definitely a positive of being injured. With the time and season you're able to go and spend time with family, that's always super special. I miss some of those times from when I was younger, getting to go with hang with the kids and stuff. So that's really awesome.
Yeah, I definitely don't take it for granted, especially with the niece and the nephew, and, racing, like, triathlon season is never ending.
Yeah,
I usually get to go home just for Christmas. I'm grateful that, my parents can come see me at quite a lot of races. They're retired and love to travel, so I think they're gonna be at Worlds. They're
nice.
planning they have a vacation already, and will probably stay an extra 2 weeks, I think, or a week or something.
Yeah, and when is that?
Yeah, not till November. It's November 8th,
Okay,
I believe, is the men's I forget if men are first or women are first.
probably women.
2-day race for 70.3 World still.
Yeah, cool. That's awesome. So also something you've been working on a lot is your social media game. You've got little flying
Mhm.
cameras and your edits. You're always asking like, "How's this edit look?" and trying new stuff. So how's it been going? Like you've been really consistent this year.
Yeah, trying. It's actually frustrating though. It's this algorithm. Recently, been noticing just absolute terrible engagement.
Yeah,
Or like views are okay, but like the likes and the engagement,
sure.
like pretty like it's gotten lower for some reason.
Hmm.
So I'm like I obviously never want to be super salesy. I always want to keep it organic and
Yeah,
fun. Um, but yeah, it's part of the game now. We've talked about this so many times where you can be not quite as good for the results, but if
physically.
you have
Yeah,
that social following, you're gonna get much better sponsors.
yeah. How
And
how's yeah.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say on the sponsorship side, like we're getting it's crazy. It's already mid-August,
I
going
can't believe it. Yeah.
into September. So going into the final quarter here before too long of the year. And I know that's when a lot of athletes and businesses start like queuing up, what's next year, what next season going to look like on the sponsorship side and our marketing dollars, this, that, and the other. So are you gearing up for like reaching out to new people and new things and
Hmm.
renewing contracts?
Yeah. Definitely. This is the time where it starts to pick up a bit more. Um, so I guess I want to jump back to I got the drone, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Probably the best purchase of the year for me. It's that Hover Air Pro Max. So I
Yeah.
went with that one because it's one of the best like follow drones so I can fly it myself with the phone. You can buy the like joysticks as well to make that easier for you. But the reason it's so good is because it follows you really well and it has these preset flight paths. And it just takes off from your hand. It's really small. It's actually sitting right in front of me, which is awesome. And this is not a sponsor. I would love to be sponsored by them because they just came out with a waterproof one.
Yeah.
So it's this tiny little one. The What I love too is the guard. The blades are like
Yeah.
have
So you don't have
guards
to
on them.
replace them.
I have crashed it a few times, but it seems that it's works perfectly fine. So one, it's just really fun. I feel like a kid again with an RC like plane or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and two, it's great that, and I've heard this from sponsors, the quality that it gets. So I'm doing it on my own. And the way I viewed like what do I bring to a sponsor? Obviously you got the results like we were talking about. If you're like winning races, especially world champs, T100, if you're winning races, obviously you'll attract sponsors. Um, and then there's the content as well. Like if you have the follower, like whatever influencers tend to whatever they have good content maybe. So that obviously is what sponsors want too. They want the content that they can use for their websites, the engagement. So I just have like these buckets you could say that I'm trying to fill to bring to sponsors, and I want to give them zero reason why they wouldn't want to work together. Be a good athlete, be able to produce the good content. And then, of course, the last one is just be a good person and hopefully be approachable and actually treat it as a relationship. So
Mm.
I am starting to pick up like whatever 2026 talks, but I send almost monthly updates to all
Yeah,
sponsors
and you've been doing
and
it for a
all
while.
like just people on my contact list. I have this spreadsheet of, I think it's gotten to like 50 or 60 contacts now in the industry and out of the industry, of people that I just send updates. It's usually after races, but I just sent one um last week to everyone in my contact lists about obviously the injury,
Recovery.
but then having the world number one swim ranking was pretty cool. So I thought I'd share that, and they all appreciate it. And it's so simple to do, but for them, I don't. The reactions I've gotten
Yeah,
from
that's what
some
I
of
was gonna
these
ask.
sponsors is like they don't get this often. Like they don't get this contact. It's like such. It's just a small email.
Yeah, yeah. That's super good. Where did you get that idea? Was that like growth from or grown from something else, an influence that you had, or you saw someone else doing something similar, or did you just?
Yeah, sort of just through talking with people, other athletes, and then obviously I was like a business major in college, and it's always the saying about it's not who like what you know, it's who you know, like
Network is the net
stuff
worth.
like that,
Yeah.
networking. So it did not stem necessarily from well, yeah, like it is sales, right? And I'm a business, so it kind of stemmed, I guess, from just like not having success
Mm.
emailing Oh,
Like cold call,
emailing
cold
people for
emailing.
sponsorship, but I think on my early days as a triathlete, I was just straight up asking for stuff. "Sponsor me," the first email, the first interaction, and that just never went well, and I was like, "Oh, okay, it's because of results. Okay, it's because of influence. Okay, it's because of whatever, lack of following, whatever."
Mm.
And then I just switched it to just building relationships. I did that in college and I was a walk on because the coach knew me and didn't necessarily take a chance, but he knew the type of person I was and maybe the potential. So yeah, I guess just years of trial and error, talking with people who have done similar things because I built this like sponsorship deck, all these things. But what's been the most successful is just emailing updates, not asking for anything, just building a relationship.
Yeah, being present.
And that's kind of so true with RTS. Just the people that are on the team. I feel like we've built such a good community with Real Tri Squad, and it's very similar. Um, that's how I like treat my other sponsors. Much rather have a long term relationship as well
Yeah,
than, of course, you need to afford the sport, but
sure.
I've had all these sponsors now for 2 3 years, and I love it because I have such a good relationship with those. Like Nick obviously sponsors me with Real Tri Squad, but then Zoot,
Mm-hmm.
Envy, Felt, like some of these and that's something that I definitely idolized of athletes when I was starting was like, oh wow, Tim O'Donnell, T.O. has been with Trek for almost his whole career. Like these athletes that are with certain sponsors for their whole career. I don't know. It's something that I was like, okay, that'd be awesome. It's part of their like part of my identity almost at that point.
Mm, yeah, relationships are definitely key. So I'd be curious to ask you this question then, um, and you can take a minute to think about it. But what are the two questions here? First one: what are the top three relationships that you have in your life, and what purpose, or maybe purpose isn't the best word, but what what are the biggest areas of value that you go after that you find from those relationships?
Hmm. Great question, Seth. Well, for me, at the top of it's family.
Mm-hmm.
Family is huge for me, and I talk about them a lot, obviously. And without them, that's like like of course they want me to succeed, and sometimes it makes me angry after hard like races, not angry, but like frustrated after races where they're like, "Oh, you did so good." And it was like in my head it was such a bad race.
Yeah.
But again, like when you've been in the sport long enough and you have those people that regardless of how you do, they're there for you. It's such an important pillar to have in your life. And this is like not just sports. It's I mean, business ventures, with like other relations, someone to have that you can always go talk to that is there for you through the hard times, the good times, whatever, financial success, financial depressed, whatever. So
Yeah.
someone to talk to is always important. So for me, family's huge. I'm grateful for them, and they support my triathlon goals as well. They always have. And um, beyond that, like having Real Tri Squad the past 3 years has been the best thing for my triathlon career. I did the short course stuff, and of course, you're bouncing all over the world, chasing points, and it can get kind of lonely. I was on a team, of course, so I had that core group that I was training with, but I was racing a lot alone. But with Real Tri Squad, having so many people that have similar passions and are just so lighthearted and like fun about the sport. It's really just it's never really felt like a job, I guess.
Hmm.
Um, I, I mean, it definitely is a dream job, anyways. I just get to work out for a living.
Yeah.
But Real Tri Squad, and for all relationships, like the third, I guess, pillar you could say is for like sponsors, or partners or whatever. It's like I was saying before, it's not what they can give me, it's what how we can help each other. And Nick has been such a big inspiration for me as well on this front. It's like, okay, it's all about, yeah, building those relationships, of course, for the long term. And where can you grow together, I
Hmm.
guess. So with Zoot, with like any of the sponsors that we have, I would much rather have, yeah, a long lasting sponsor with someone who I really look forward to talking to, working with at a race, dealing with it with, than someone who's like they don't really care about me, I guess, if that makes sense.
Hmm. Yeah.
So Felt is a perfect example. I've been with them 2 years, and at the start of the first year, like I had a really good end of the year. I was whatever eighth at Worlds, and then won a few races towards the end of the year. But the bike industry at the time was struggling, and there was like world champions being dropped from their bike sponsors. And at that time, they actually picked me up because they believed in me. Wanted to make a big push in the US market again with triathlon. So having people like that, like I'm so grateful for. And it just makes me want to give back to them as much as I can.
Yeah. Great answer. So, I want to ask you this question first. So, what is your primary love language, do you think?
Primary love
Do you know
language.
what I mean by that? Like, do you, the acts of service, quality time, physical touch, words of affirmation? I don't remember the other one. I feel like there's a fifth one. But do you know
Are
what
you
yours
looking it
is?
up?
Yeah, I will. So they
Oh,
are the top five. Here we go. Come on. Oprah Daily. Words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts. That's the one I forgot. Quality time and physical touch. Which one is your top?
mm, I feel like I feel like I have different moods with these, I guess, if that makes sense.
Based on if you're on your period or not?
Exactly. If
I'm
my
just
time of the
kidding.
month. Is this related to sponsors or not? What is
It will
this?
be because we're talking relationships. So before I ask the
Yeah.
next question, I wanna get the context for this.
Yeah,
So
okay.
if you don't really know, that's okay.
Yeah. I don't, yeah, I guess quality time is huge. And then there's obviously areas where I need to get better, way better at this. Like I've been sending those emails to my contacts, but like I need to do that more with friends as well, and just like
Sure.
catching up. Gifts, maybe not so much. Balling on the triathlon budget,
Yeah.
but that doesn't need to be anything expensive. It can just be like little gifts here and there, right?
Yeah.
Like little candies. Like Amy and Robbie, I think was a month ago, came back from somewhere and they just got me this funny like candy necklace with I don't know if I should say this.
Go. I remember this. Go.
It was all like little penises.
Yeah. This is
So-
the one you're talking about from February, right? Or is this
oh
recent?
yeah, that was there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So just like stupid, goofy stuff like that. Like they were just messing with me. So
Yeah.
they probably went to a candy shop and they're like, we should get this for Mark or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so because I was going to ask you kind of this follow-up question, you know, we've talked about the hard times, having family and that, and I know for a fact that over the years, what I need for my family has changed, but also I didn't really know how to define it for quite a while. And now being married, like I said, enabled me to kind of dive into that, I think, a little bit more. So my question was going to be to you, whenever you're going through like a really challenging time from your friends and family, could be sponsors, could be Nick, could be anyone on our team.
Mhm.
What do you feel like is what you need in that moment? Like what is most
Gotcha.
helpful? Because sometimes people are like you said, you finish a bad race and your family's like, "Oh, you did so good," and you're like, "Ah, screw you," like I know I did bad.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what is it
But
that
I
you need?
yeah, so I would never say that, like, obviously, I appreciate it
Yeah.
because I know now that they're there regardless.
Hmm.
Um, Man, that is a good question. Obviously, like, part of me just wants to say, "I don't need anything," like, "I'll just go train," which actually is relatively true, like, not that I don't need anyone, but sometimes I'll just go, like, after the injury, I was still, like, riding a little bit, and it was just clearing my head. Um and sometimes that's what it just takes is clear the head and um thankfully like I'm able to yeah flip to a relatively positive mindset almost right away now with things. um yeah, that's a great question. um I wouldn't say I need anything specific. Working Having the ability to keep working out is huge. Go for a walk. Obviously, I have my family to talk to, which is great, and friends, and I have roommates that have always just lightened the mood, like Amy, Robbie, you met and stayed with, and swam with Elliot this morning. So having just friends that I can see and hang out with outside of triathlon, and yeah, we might just still talk triathlon, but just that lighten the mood, that's huge for me as well.
Yeah, for sure. It sounds like solitude is something that you appreciate. Are
I
you?
can, yeah, I think everyone needs to be learn to have the ability to be in solitude. Like I've traveled a lot alone. I train a lot alone, and like it's totally like, yeah, maybe it isn't the best, but I'm totally fine with it. Like you just
Yeah,
gotta be in your own thoughts. You gotta think about the day, what your goals are, what um plans, or just yeah, just learn about yourself.
yeah. What kind of new things? Because how old are you? You're 32. Are you 32?
30. Yeah,
You're
sorry.
30.
I'll be
30.
31 in November.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. So 31. We now are in our 30s. What are some things that
hmm
you felt like you really are starting to figure out about yourself in the past couple of years? Anything?
Well, I do keep doing like new things. So I'm just like yeah, meeting new people. Obviously like the sponsorship stuff, we've talked about that a lot. That's always on my mind, or the building relationships is always on my mind. So it's always like trying to figure out like those three buckets. How can I improve those? So I'm thinking about that a lot. How can I get better at building relationships? How can I reach the people? How can I um like I'd say I'm pretty like good in person, pretty personable. Hopefully like people see that I'm like always have pretty good energy and
Mm-hmm.
um passionate about things. So it's like how do I bring that to the Marc Dubrick triathlete brand, and how do I use that as an advantage or um a way to show sponsors that I might be different from every other for whatever triathlete.
Yeah.
So stuff like that I'm usually thinking about. Currently uh started investing, so I'm thinking about that more.
Oh, tell me about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Dive
well, I
in.
have a brother-in-law. My sister's husband is a financial advisor,
Okay,
so
so we're talking
he
stocks
helps
and
me out.
bonds.
Yeah, exactly. I'm got a Roth IRA going, and so I'm not investing that much. Like I'm actually not in. I would say I'm not in any like classic stocks right now. I'm just in very obviously mutual funds, so I am in stocks.
Yeah.
But it's the Roth IRA, and then I have the whatever the high interest savings accounts, two of
Mm-hmm.
them.
High yield. Yeah. Who you got yours through? Is it
Yeah,
Goldman
one's
or?
Vanguard, it's just
Okay.
the money market, so it's
Okay.
whatever 4.2, and then I do the Capital One, performance savings plan.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool, dude. That's
So that's
fun.
fun to think about,
Yeah.
honestly, and I love it because it's a savings account, so it's completely
Yeah.
liquid, right?
Yeah.
But, like, I love seeing the interest. the monthly
Oh,
interest.
oh yeah.
I'm
Get
just
those
like, that was
dollar signs.
free.
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
That was free right there.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's always good
um,
to see that kind of growth.
absolutely. And I do think about that a lot, right? What am I gonna do after triathlon? I don't know when that'll be. I know I'll stay in the sports industry, triathlon industry, but that's something that will always drive me is one, I want to start a family. I want to afford to give my kids exactly what my parents were able to give me. Like, sports are expensive, traveling expense is expensive. I
Hmm.
just want to give my kids opportunities to do things, and that, of course, money is not everything, but I don't want to have any like financial
Burden, stress,
burdens or
to
stress
hold them back. Yeah,
if possible.
yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I've thought about that quite a lot because I told you, and I've said it a few times on the podcast, but people have to listen to at least halfway through to figure it out. But Ashley's pregnant, so thinking about like how.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thinking how to prepare a life for a child is like something I've been thinking a ton about lately, and it's so hard because I've met some people who have had children and they gave them a very well off opportune life where they didn't have to really worry or stress about a lot of those kind of financial things, or many of or all of any or all of them, all or any of them. um and so, and I've seen some kids grow up from that kind of an outlook, having really good perspective and work ethic, and then some who do not. And
Hmm.
there's so many different parenting styles and things you could do, but I've thought like, well, if I could change my life, would I? And I don't think I really would. We grew up not well off. Like there was struggles at times, and it put like a fire underneath me. But it's at the same time, it can be like a negative motivator of like you're
Hmm.
being motivated by fear. So yeah, I think it's a good thing. I haven't figured out what it should be or should not look like in terms of, do I give them allowance? Like, do I make them work for it? Even if we
Yeah.
are millionaires, do we just say you're going to pay for your first car or whatever? Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of
Yeah,
things
it's
to.
tough for sure. And yeah, I didn't think about the allowance or the chores yet. That's the
It's a little
next
premature.
yeah, premature.
Yeah.
Definitely not expecting like you, but it's something that like I just want to make sure I don't have to like I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
it's not the way to look at it. But
No, I think it's fair.
I do have a question
Oh,
kind of for you. So if
okay.
you were to win, or I guess let me start this over. People say winning the lottery or Mega Million, whatever,
Mm.
they wouldn't want to, or it changes people, or it can ruin your life. And of course it can. Do you think if you won it, you would change
Oh, I'm sure I would
the way you
change.
live?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Now, would I go and blow it all? No, but I think that if I'm looking at the past, let's just say 7 to 10 years of my life, going from a place of being in college,
Hmm.
looking at my bank account and be like, $5, I can go buy a bean burrito today. Like that would be okay. And then
Right.
now it's like, I mean, I messed up my wife's car and I had to drop, $1,000 in a day on a bunch of parts and stuff. So there's a different way that we live. Like we were in a tiny home, now we're in like a full size, three
Hmm.
bedroom, two bath house, and so I'm sure that it would change me to a degree. I don't, if I could choose if I was to win the lottery or not, I think that I would, but I would only do it under the guise of, I would like say that these percentages of the money are going to go to these different places, and I'm only
Hmm.
going to be allowed to kind of touch this little piece, and then probably pass some on to some kind of cause or family or something like that. Because honestly, man, like my sisters, they were in a really horrible car wreck. And not to call them out too much, but there was a tractor trailer driver texting and driving in a construction zone,
Mm.
hit them, made their car flipped a bunch of times. One of my sisters had to have back surgery. The other one has back issues. So they got
Hmm.
a pretty large settlement. And with one of them, like, she doesn't listen to podcasts, so I'll just say it. And she's since learning a lot of lessons, but she blew a lot of money very fast. And when you
Hmm.
go from having no money and responsibility around that money to just all of a sudden having it, there's no concept of like how fast it goes. Um, and so I think that I am also in danger of something like that similarly happening, because you're like, you see $1 million in the bank account. Oh, what's 20 grand? But then you
Right.
do that over the course of, 12 months, once a month, and you're like,
Yeah,
holy
it'll go
cow, like
quick
it
for
goes
sure.
so fast. So yeah, I think it's different for every person. you have to build up a tolerance for how to deal with large amounts of money, I think.
Yeah, I was just about to say that as well, and I think it's a of course, I think almost 100% of people are gonna say they'll take the obviously, "I'll take the $1,000,000, I'll
Yeah.
take the
Oh, if you make
$100,000,000."
me, yeah.
Yeah, darn. And I've thought about this a lot because people have said that. No, it ruins your life, it ruins your relationships, like,
Mm,
and,
that's a good point.
I think, for me at least, and I feel like you are similar, especially since what you just described, it's like if we were to get it now, it's gonna be way different to how we handle it, treat it, than if we were to both get it at a different point in our lives.
Mhm.
Because now I think both of us, like, we have these values and goals. Personally, I like triathlon. I would still do triathlon. I would probably still be, yeah, I'd still be doing exactly the same things. And because I've gone through what I've gone through, whatever, I don't think I would, yeah, change much. I would definitely invest it. I would get a house. That's because that's something I really want is
Yeah,
a
that's
home
an
base for
asset. Yeah.
once. But besides that, yeah, not much is gonna like change me.
Yeah, that's a good sign. And that's good that you can say that because I don't know if a lot of people can honestly say that. I think one thing you touched on too is really important to consider is the impact it has on relationships, especially if that kind of a thing befalls a family who does not have a lot.
Mhm.
Because I saw in our family like some blood be shed over that.
Yeah.
Um, but on another note, like I just recorded an episode not long ago with Tim Ford. You know who he is?
Mm-mm.
Tim Ford. He works with Mana SG. He's like an athlete. What is it? A manager
Okay.
for yeah. Like they Joe Skipper's on there and a number of other
Oh,
athletes.
sorry, was it Mauna?
Mauna, is that how you say it?
Maun?
Mauna.
Mauna? I don't know,
I
but
don't know.
yes, I don't know him, but I know the brand,
Well,
definitely.
Tim, I'm sorry if I said it wrong. But he had a crazy story, which you should check out the podcast. It's really interesting. I think it was his grandfather won the lottery when they were young, and it changed their lives. But it's like the first example I've seen, real firsthand example of hearing a testimony story of
Mhm.
how it changed up a family for the positive. Because the grandfather, I think he like bought some land, brought the family in, took care of the kids' college,
Yeah,
and that kind
there
of
we
stuff.
go.
Yeah, and so yeah, it definitely can go that way, but it's just so crazy, man. Because I see people all the time, especially when I'm doing long rides and I'm stopping at a gas station. It's so common to see somebody standing in the parking lot at the gas station, going and buying 5 scratch offs,
Mhm.
coming out, doing the same thing, doing it again, doing it again, doing it again, and like that's so bad for just every once in a while it's
Yeah,
fine, but it can become such an addiction. So yeah, it's interesting.
definitely, and, I mean, I would love to find out in a way.
Yeah.
Mega Millions. No, I certainly would give my family some though, right? If you're winning $100,000,000,
Yeah.
and maybe it's just me, but I would, and maybe it's because
Giving.
I love being able to see my family.
Yeah.
So of course I'm gonna find a way to make it even easier to see my family with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
100%. Who is your biggest fan, Mark?
who is my biggest fan?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah.
hmm, I mean, my parents have always been there for me, right?
Okay.
Good races, bad races. Um, I mean, I've been a pro triathlete now for whatever 6 years. I've had a part-time job alongside triathlon until yeah, last year, I
That's
guess.
good.
I'd say my parents and all my family. Um, I am I'm not sure if you know this, Seth, but I am dating someone.
I was gonna ask that.
Yeah. Gabriella, she'll appreciate that I give her a shout out.
Yeah.
So she came to Boulder a couple weeks ago, and that's where I got. She, we're both big fans of each other. Obviously, she's a
Yeah.
triathlete.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we got a lot of that content you're saying. I've been posting a lot more. Because it's so funny. It is so easy if you just have someone else doing the same schedule as you, like swim, bike, run. We were all just doing it for 2 weeks together,
Yeah.
and it's just so easy, like to pull out your phone. Phones are so good now.
Yeah. No kidding. Gabriella Gall.
Um,
Gavel.
Gavo,
Gavel. Gavel.
Gavo. We've
Gavel.
talked about this a lot. She's Polish, so it's
Gavel.
Gaw. She'll appreciate this because I mess it up so much.
Yeah.
It's like I tried to have her pronounce it. I was like, "Is it like Bravo?"
Gavo.
And she's like, "Yes, but no, because
Gavel.
the L is it's like
It comes out.
not really though. It's like Mick. It's close to Bravo, but not. If you say it like
Gavel.
that, it's close enough.
Gavel.
So yeah, Gavo.
Nice.
If you have any Polish listeners, they can correct us.
Yeah, for sure. Well, congratulations, man. How long have you been dating?
Well, we met in Tucson 5 months ago.
Yeah, and I think you may
So
have mentioned her then, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And then I'll be going to see her in 2 weeks. She's
Back
in
in Arizona?
she's in Canada right now.
Oh, she is? Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
big backs. She has an interesting situation. She's with her coach, but like goes Canada, Tucson,
Yeah.
similar to how I go Boulder, Tucson.
Yeah.
But she doesn't have US citizenship, so she has to make sure she like counts the days she's in the US,
Yeah.
especially when she's trying to do the winters in Tucson as well.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. So she's also a triathlete. Did she go to Arizona State? Is that
No,
what is her background?
you should get her on the pod.
Yeah, I think I will. I'll reach
No,
out.
she's full-time triathlon. She's in I think she won't mind if I talk about her at all. She's in real estate.
Oh, sick.
But right now just doing full-time triathlon, and she's my social media intern is what I like to joke about.
Nice.
Unpaid.
Yeah. Most interns are unpaid, so that's okay.
Right.
That's awesome. Well, that's fun. Yeah, I'll have to reach out to her and see if I can pronounce her name correctly when I ask her what her name is for the first episode. That'd be fun. So,
Yeah.
So how
She
many?
actually was hoping that she thought this was our Instagram live
Oh,
for a
she's gonna
bit.
hop on.
So she was gonna hop on and listen. I was like, sorry. This is on like Riverside. It's
Yeah, this
official.
is legit.
You can listen to anywhere you find your podcasts.
Yeah.
Do you ever do that spiel?
Yes, I've been moving it now to the front of the podcast because I'm trying to get people to like subscribe because so many people listen who aren't subscribed yet. So,
So you're trying to convert those listeners to subscribers.
yes, that way.
I was just talking to my intern about this, and I posted a stupid story yesterday after my open water swim, and it was just that people do this on the beach, girls do this on the beach. Hot dogs or legs, have you seen that?
Yeah.
And I did it, and it was just so stupid, and it got like, I don't even know, 30-40% more than I normally would on a viewed story.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and so many of them were just non-followers. So it's curious, like a story with no hashtags. How are you getting so many views of non-followers?
That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that they would push.
Right.
Follows.
I'm super confused. So then I'm like, okay, now how do I convert these people to followers? Like they're just viewing my stories. They look at my legs. They like, we're deciding if they're hot dogs or legs. I don't know. But it didn't want them to make them follow me.
Yeah. It's so interesting how social media works, man. Like on the trending side, because you think it's different than like if you put let's just say you put, I don't know, 50,000 people in a stadium and it's quiet and people are allowed to have conversations, and then you kind of figure out by talking to your neighbor like certain things can spread based on the popularity of the conversation or whatever, and it's natural. But because social media, we call it trending, but really all it is an algorithm that is set to say what is quote unquote trending. So if you want a particular set of things to be the checkbox to me marked in order for something to go trending, yeah, like I hate chasing the algorithm, dude. I just think it's so
Yeah,
dumb.
and sometimes it's so random. Like you do chase it, you do the song, you do the whatever, and it doesn't work. It's like still doesn't work. I don't know if it gets lost in it gets lost in that trend if it's not like one of the better versions.
Yeah.
But I just had like, yeah, it's annoying sometimes. Like I did a few bike check videos. I did one of my Placid bike setup that I was gonna race, and that got like 200K views on Instagram.
Really?
I started a TikTok a while ago, and I don't do anything special for TikTok. I just upload the same content, exactly the same over to TikTok. And on TikTok, it got 400K, which is like really good.
Yeah.
And then I had that the cycling one. I think I posted it. It's been 2 or 3 months now.
Yeah.
where I wasn't even in it, and I just took a video. Originally, I had posted it to my story, and it was of this car that gave a lot of room to this dump truck. And then all I said with
Yeah, I
the
remember
text was,
that.
"Why can't you do
People
this?"
went nuts.
Yeah, people lost their minds. There wasn't even a cyclist in the video, and it has like almost 500K views on Instagram. And then it didn't do too well on TikTok. But anyways, it's just crazy some things that'll go viral. Um, so now that's why I started branching out this week. I got some dog content. I'm currently house sitting for Caitlin Alexander and Brian. They got two dogs, Freya and Nimbus. They're staring at me right now.
Nice.
So two cuties. My last day watching them. But putting some dog content into the feed. See if I can branch out a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Convert those followers. Well, you got like 7,100. What were you last year about this time? Do you remember?
I don't remember. So I had a nice like spreadsheet of the growth. I think 3 years ago, maybe it's been 4 years now. I was at 1900.
Yeah.
So, I mean, 7K is not anywhere like it's not something you can I don't think use as a resume or a sponsorship pitch.
Not yet.
But getting there,
Yeah.
definitely getting there. And it's when you do well at races, it's easy to get followers.
Yeah, because you
And
get all the reels
yeah,
that are made
all
and
the reels, the collaborations. Yeah, exactly.
yeah. So when's the next time you think you'll be able to race?
So the goal would be to get a wild card for the um
Finals
Wa-
2100.
Wollongong. They switched it, so they canceled Vegas,
Australia.
rescheduled it to there. So that's
Wollongong.
October 18th. That's a big ask because I haven't started running yet,
Yeah. And
and
it's
although it's 8 weeks away, I think
mm,
8 weeks is gonna come fast.
yeah, no, that is no time at all, man.
Yeah.
I'd be stressing a little bit.
So that
So
one's probably too big of an ask, anyways, already. And then for sure
Worlds.
doing Worlds November 8th.
Yeah.
Um, but like the goal has always been to try to get a T100 contract for next year.
Yeah.
And there's a few ways to get that. Well, just I guess, yeah, there's just a few ways. One is this contender series that they have
Yeah.
where it's based off of 5 races. If you look at the PTO or the T100 world rankings, that's based off 3. But the contender series is based off your 5 best. So of course, being injured, it's not helping me right now.
Yeah.
But thankfully, I had really good races at the end of last year.
Mm-hmm.
So my ranking's still pretty good, but I need to make sure I replace those
Boost it.
with good results for 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I need to at least well, I don't have to do 3, but it would be nice if I do 3 more races this year.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
there's Worlds, and then there's actually another T100 race right after Worlds in Dubai, and then there's the grand final. So I'd love to be able to get to the grand final.
Yeah.
The way to qualify has been it's a bit sketchy, I guess, or is like 2 different rules, descriptions of how you qualify, even on the T100 website. Like you can find 2 different ways to qualify.
Yeah.
I don't know which one's correct. But that one's gonna be tough because obviously when you're a contracted athlete, you have to do that one.
Yeah. What do you think's going on with? Because I'm again like I don't follow things super closely, but like when I tuned into the T100 races, like barely anybody was watching them. I know they just raised like a third round of funding, and it seems like there was
Yeah, that
just so
third
much
round of funding though was
uncertainty.
actually to pay
Yeah, on
last year's
contracts. Yeah.
debts. Yeah.
So it seems like a little
Yeah, I don't know.
concern.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you're at the races, it's absolutely amazing. Of course,
Yeah.
there's sometimes not many fans out there. There are age group races along with them, but I think everyone will still chooses the Ironman branded races for age
Yeah.
group racing. But I love the races. Of course, it is kind of stressful, right? They're all just super competitive. Any one of those races is like the most competitive race that I would do or ever
Mm-hmm.
done, but it feels like a pro sport.
Yeah.
Like they
No.
have the videographers, the photographers. They take all of like we'll have the pro briefing, but it's like a discussion. We go over the rules and the courses, and then they'll ask us like if we saw anything on the courses. What do you think of certain things? So it's like it does feel like a pro league if there was to be one in triathlon, and like I would love to be part of it.
Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. And from
But
a,
it is scary having like they're just getting funding now to pay last year.
yeah.
I'm not sure if you followed the Grand Slam track.
Mm-mm.
It's it's not similar to triathlon. Well, I guess you could compare them, but it's this new format for track racing, and they're paying $100,000 payouts for winning, just running 2 races, $100,000 per weekend.
Good
And
grief.
yeah, and they said that they lost a big donor, a 6-figure, or 7-figure donation or something, someone backed out, and that they yeah, so they pretty much just kinda went under, and they haven't paid any
Oh.
athletes anything.
Oh, that's tough. Yeah, it's so interesting, man, because like I have a theory that, the PTO came out right before, during, around COVID. Your phone's like vibrating the screen.
Yeah, so you see it moving as
Yeah, it's
it's
like,
vibrating. I thought I had it on silent.
that's all good. So I have this theory about Team 100 or PTO before during COVID. They came out, they made it their very stated goal. We are here to elevate professional racing and to pay
Mhm.
athletes. Like that was bottom of the, well,
Yeah, they
it's not,
started as PTO,
yeah,
almost PTU, but then realized it's not feasible.
yeah.
So sorry, go on with your theory.
Well, yeah, so they came out with that, and then, things started to pick up some steam. There was some interest in it. Some bigger names were drawn in. Then it like was like, okay, we're going to rebrand to T100. And I think the
Yeah.
PTO, quote unquote, still exists, but it's kind of like this floating off thing that no one really
Yeah,
talks
I think
about.
everyone just got hooked on that. Everyone's like, "Okay, they're here to be a union for all triathlon," which obviously was great and maybe it was needed. And then I think people got hooked on that. They latched onto that's what they're trying to be, and for some reason they're still on that.
Hmm.
But yeah, maybe the PTO or T100, they obviously realized the 20 through whatever 30 ranked above, are they how much are they bringing us, so they've obviously switched to an entertainment company, race organization, and they are
Yeah,
hyper focused on just those top 20.
yeah, which
So it's really tough, and they've obviously cut down the payment. At first they paid out 100 people that first year,
yeah,
which was huge, right? When you're 50 through 100 ranking, like 3K, 5K, I forget what it was. That's big. Like
yeah,
that is really big. So it is unfortunate to see that go. Um, and
yeah,
then they cut it down to 40 last year being paid, and now this year is nothing unless no, they are still to 40 this year.
yeah.
Part of the contender series though.
Yeah, well, and it seems like they're also when they started doing the T100 thing, it was like, okay, we're here now to raise the bar of Ironman, and now they've done that. Ironman has responded, so I
Hmm.
feel like if they were, whoever's leading these machines was smart, that they would just kind of put their heads together and probably lean in on the Ironman brand, get that thing to be solvent, because I know that it's still like I forget how much debt that company is in. It's like ridiculous. They've been bought and sold by multiple private equity groups.
Hmm.
But like just lean into that. And I feel like that would be good enough, at least for now, until the day comes where I think the sport becomes like a Formula One, where you have people who are so invested in the top tier only that they are diehard fans. They're going to this. Like it brings a wealthier, just demographic to come and not only participate, but watch the sport.
Hmm.
Because right
Sorry, I'm
now
just
it's
gonna
like, oh, it's all good.
silence this.
Oh, you're good. But right
All of
now
a sudden,
it's,
people wanted to talk to me all of a sudden right during this podcast.
yeah, you're Mark Dubrick. I mean, you're famous.
All right, I'm silencing it. Hopefully that works.
Yeah, it's all good. But yeah, it's like right now, it seems like everyone who is really interested in the sport is so hyperly focused on community, which is the sign of like a new and up and coming sport. I just feel like
Hmm.
it kind of is a little bit a cart before the horse, but we'll see. I mean, I hope that everybody gets paid at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
I
Like
hope so too.
that's what
That's
really
actually the
matters.
message I just got. Someone asked me if I had been paid from the races yet.
Have you?
No.
Oh my word! This is for the T100s that you have already done.
T100, yeah,
Yeah,
because wild cards they get $2,000.
that's crazy, man. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's still tough to be a wild card. I just tell myself it's an investment. And it really is, right? If you do race well enough, these wild cards, you can make much more, right?
Yeah,
Two minimum, yeah. Two K is um
the
like
appearance.
guaranteed, I guess. I think I can say that. Anyways, yeah, I mean, I hope it continues. Like I said, it feels like a proper pro sport when you're at these races. They do treat you really well. It is a small, very small race, and you have to be on it. Like Jackson and I were talking just about Vancouver, and a lot of the races are like this. Like no one like necessarily blows up. You'll get like quite a few DNFs, but we were just looking at the spread of the runs, and it was like just like there's like yeah, no one really blows up
Yeah, they're just all
in a way because everyone's so
easy.
good. I don't know. There are blowups and stuff, of course, when it gets hot, and we were just talking about it's just like you have to be on it. You have to be mm, like ready to go, especially if you want to crack into the top six, like
Yeah,
or 10 or whatever. Like those, each one of those guys. I mean, how many world champs we have in there? It's pretty wild.
yeah, quite a
And
bit.
and then when you see like that's where it is tough for I think people who do commit to the T100 and why some people don't like it is because it's just so deep all the time and maybe sponsors haven't they don't give much weight to like a 6th or 8th or 10th place,
Yeah,
even though that's such a good result when you compare it to who's in the
yeah,
race.
like how
But
stacked everything
you
is.
go and race at a smaller
Iron Man.
Ironman
Be
70.3
a
and you
secondary
win,
race.
it is way more views, way more publicity for the brand. So that's where some people don't like it, of course, because they're performing better or the same,
Yeah,
but it's just such a high caliber race.
yeah, yeah. It's true. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the next few years. I don't think T100 is going to be around, or it's going to get sold to somebody else. If I'm,
That's your guess?
I'd say so, dude. Like it's like the age old thing where like startup comes in, throws tons of money at a problem, creates a cool looking product. Not many people, when I'm talking like in this instance, entertainment viewership isn't backed up. Then they get sold to someone else. They try to reinvent
Hmm.
it, and I think it'll keep happening until either they quit forever or it does become the next Formula One for this
Hmm.
specific, endurance sport.
Yeah, it would be cool if there was a collaboration with Iron Man. I mean, there's a
They
reason.
could
I
do
feel
a
like
lot
there's
with
a
it.
reason Iron Man made it 3 fulls and 2 halves for the series. Excuse me. There's a reason Iron Man made it 3 fulls and 2 halves for the Pro Series. Very heavily on fulls and T100, sticking to the 100K distance. I feel like that was obviously planned. Of course, the schedules aren't perfect, but when you race 8 times 200, of course, there's going to be big overlaps. And as you can tell, they've switched schedules around a lot, switched venues around, canceled venues. From like when they first announced the 2025 schedule till now, it's like totally different.
Yeah, it's like 30% different or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Mm. So let me ask you one more question on the lines of just athletics. Who are one, two, anybody, people that you are noticing that are kind of rising through the ranks that you hadn't noticed before that you've discovered?
Mm, it's a good question. There's always a few. Um, who, I mean, the Germans, just blanket over all of them.
Yeah. All of Europe.
All of, yeah, all of Europe.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, obviously in the T100, and I knew he was already good, is Jamie Riddle, of course. He was an Olympian short course. And like racing a lot of these guys in short course, I knew like they'd translate well. Morgan, obviously, like he will 100% win a T100 race, if not this year, but eventually.
Yeah.
Swimming, one of the best swimmers and definitely one of the best runners. And then like for me, like the bike is still obviously one of my weaknesses. And when you first get on a TT bike and then start learning the dynamics and just how to push power and the length of the race, like the learning curve is a lot. And um, he has like just been off a little bit, but it's like his third or fourth middle distance race. So like he'll be there soon, like really soon, I bet.
Yeah. You ever
So
think?
like to say he's an up and coming is like
Yeah.
you can't really say
Well,
that,
tongue
right?
in cheek. Up and
Yeah.
coming to people who don't know that
Right,
yet.
and, it's been fun. I still keep up with the short course stuff, quite a bit, just following it's fun to follow.
Hmm.
So actually a lot of the US there's a few US guys that, I've been following, that Reese Fanderson,
Yeah, had him on. He's a cool guy.
super exciting for him, and this USA Triathlon. But there's also just like John Reed
I don't know
is his
John Reed.
name.
I need to look him up. John
He's
Reed.
he's like yeah, I think it's John Reed. Yeah, I think that's his name. I don't know why I'm messing that up. Super good. So these are the young guys coming through, and it's
University of Utah.
John Reed.
He's on
I
GTL
don't.
Evo. Done some podium racing from Super League.
Yep. Yep.
I'll reach out to him. Cool.
Um. So and he's coached by there's like two camps. You got Project Podium, and then the other camp is John Reed's squad. Why am I spacing on his name?
And the East Coast, you're talking about North Carolina one that's getting started with.
No, that one's with Katie and Tommy. It's like a pro. It's the coach. Why am I spacing on his name?
Parker Spencer.
Parker does Project Podium, and I'm spacing on his name. But anyways, it's like these two camps. I guess you could say competing with each other against each other, but it's obviously all they have mostly Americans, but they have the best athletes on their teams.
Nice.
But Morgan is also going for LA. So
yeah, interesting. Alex Yee, you think he'll ever come over to middle to long distance?
yeah, I think you will.
The world will end if that dude.
That'd be crazy.
Dude, 13:13. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I can't.
So
even
that's
fathom
actually crazy. That has to be one of the fastest triathlete 5Ks
ever.
ever. Yeah.
I can't even.
And I actually have a goal, and maybe it's this winter. I really want to break 14.
Let's go.
So that's been on the bucket list. Obviously, as a runner, you also want to break 4. That's off the table. That's okay. That's not happening. But sub 14, I think, is actually still pretty realistic.
Yeah. What's your best 5K to date?
So in college, I went 14:20, but my sophomore, technically, yeah, my freshman year, sophomore year.
Yeah, so you've
So
developed quite a bit since
going on like 10 years ago.
Yeah. Dude,
And so yeah, obviously need to like I'd have to focus on that training, but I think it's going to be you still need the speed, especially for the T100.
Yeah, no kidding.
And now I'm even more scared to do Ironman. So get back to some speed stuff.
Yeah.
I would love to have that. Yeah, just say I was sub 14 person, and the place to do it is like usually indoor track out at Boston or one of those invites, because there'll be like 50 people, like a handful of heats that they all break 14. So you just get in there, sort of like a TT, just get on a single line and just
pace it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the goal, at least.
Well, best of luck to you, my man. Thank you so much for jumping on, for diving through so many different areas of life. It was fun. We talked relationships, finance. We didn't touch on politics this time, but
didn't touch on politics. But yeah, third episode, right?
Yep.
I was thinking about when our first episode was, because I always had issues with Riverside, and I was living with Rachel and Andre, still in Boulder. Must have been 2 years ago now.
Yeah, I'm looking when it released. Let's see, Marc Dubrick, Stupid Questions. Oh my! Did you hear that? My thing's gone. Episode 17, November 2023 is when it came out.
2023, yeah. It's almost 2 years. Getting on 2 years.
It's crazy.
I know how far we've come.
How far we've come.
Look at this. Look at the neon sign in the background.
I know.
You moved across the country.
Chana. Yes, living in California. And it's been so cool, man, to see how it's grown, like this really tight-knit community of like probably like 40 people that are always very active and like giving me feedback, sending me people who they think should be on, telling me how it's impacted their life. It's so cool. It's a labor of love, and I love it.
Labor of love. Yeah. And that goes a long way. You got to have those people that tell you what you need to know, and also like good and bad. And then also ones, and I guess that's what it sounds like. But the ones that support you, like we were talking about earlier, through the thick and thin.
Yeah, through it all, for sure. Well, thanks, bro.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'll do it again. Thank you so much to Marc for coming on the pod and jumping in again for the third round. It was really fun to get to connect with him. I do wish him and Gabriella all the best in the relationship, and also him as he continues to heal and look for some racing here at the end of the season. If you made it to this point in the podcast, again, just thank you for being here. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Check out the show notes in the description for all of the links and ways to sponsor, excuse me, not sponsor, but help, I guess, technically, yeah, sponsor the podcast, you can do that there. So thanks for listening, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.